Hey there, you're watching Go, coming to you today from Halloween Central, where we're talking about jack-o'-lanterns. Well, hello there, you are watching Go. We are here at Halloween Central at Naysgard's Farm Market. I'm here with the lovely Melissa Martin.
Thank you.
And we're here because Naysgard's is one of the local farmers that is donating pumpkins to a great event at the Roland Arts Centre. What is it?
Well, we're having our second annual pumpkin carving contest at the Roland Arts Centre, trying to make a big family event happening at the Roland Arts Centre and bring out more children and families to enjoy a day of pumpkin carving.
I think that's a great idea, and actually that's why we're carving pumpkins, because it is really fun. It's easy to do. You did this last year as well.
Yes.
Now, I think the weather didn't cooperate great last year.
No, but you know what? I think we don't melt. We're not made of sugar.
No.
And I think that with having the big tent at the Roland Arts Centre, it makes it a little bit more pleasant, but it's still certainly a fun event for families and a time to spend together.
It was a great event, and I'm glad you mentioned the tent because it was all covered. I was there with two Chinese students that I have living with me
Yes,
last
you
year.
did.
They carved their very first jack-o'-lanterns. I carved one. It was great fun, and it's a fundraiser of sorts.
Yes,
Small fundraiser.
Yeah, what we do is we do with proceeds that go to BC Children's Hospital, and then also to a little bit of the proceeds go back to the Roland Arts Centre for future programming for children's.
Wow. So it's a good event, a great family event. We're going to carve away at these and come back to you with a little bit more information, like the date and time and all of that good stuff, and the prizes. But first, I met up with one of the Alberni Valley's most prolific and beloved artists, and Jenny Fortin checked out the hairstyles, the canine hairstyles, at the Alberni Valley's most recent dog show.
There are really big ones and really little ones. There are fluffy ones that are also little ones, and not so fluffy ones that are wrinkly ones. But it doesn't matter what type of canine it is. If you're a dog person, it's not hard to fall in love with all of them.
Actually, it started 15 years ago. My husband had read an article 10 years prior about the Nova Scotia duck-tolling retriever, that it was the best breed to take hunting with you and sit in the front seat with you again, because they don't smell when they get wet. I mean, that's not the only reason. They are a lovely family pet. They're a nice size, and yeah, they're just a happy dog.
There's a reason that dogs are called man's best friend. The companionship is second to none, especially under the spotlight.
It's fun because you get to go in the ring and you get to have fun with your dog, and it's really cool how you get to show the dog and stuff like that.
People love their dogs, and this is a great way to do something with your dog, and there's lots of different things that you can do associated with the Canadian Kennel Club with your purebred dogs. They spend a lot of time and money. They condition their dogs, they groom them, they train them, and they just really enjoy being with their dogs, and their dogs enjoy being with them too.
With all the grooming and spectators and stress of a dog show, I can't help but notice that these dogs are actually enjoying themselves.
They do come to love it, and they come to enjoy the attention like she's getting now. They enjoy all the spectators that come and visit. They enjoy being in the ring and being examined by the judges, and most of all, they love getting the turkey treats or whatever you're baiting them with.
Everybody who's here is here to show that they've got a good dog that's worthy of breeding. And that's ultimately the purpose, is to show that your kennel is producing healthy dogs, good-looking dogs, and happy dogs.
It's a real team effort to participate in the dog show, and if the dog doesn't enjoy it, they don't usually win. You know, if they're not behaving, they're not having fun, they're not enjoying, the judge doesn't usually see their best attributes. So the dog has to enjoy it, the owners enjoy it, and there's always something to learn about purebred dogs. There's lots of information, so a lot of the people here, that's one of the things they enjoy.
If you're one of those people that have a soft spot for canines, Lisa recommends that you put a lot of research in before adding a furry friend to your family.
Dogs are for life, and most dogs live till they're about 15. You have them a long time, so you want to make the best decision possible for your family. And so do your homework is my advice.
More information can be found on the website. For Go on Shaw TV, I'm Jenny Fortin.
Shelley Penner has always loved rocks. She finds the colors and textures intriguing and inspirational. So much so that about 20 years ago, she was inspired to combine her love of natural stone with her other love of painting nature.
I paint on cut rock that it's sliced like slices of bread. And I use the landscape that's natural to the stone and paint wildlife into the stone so it looks like it belongs there. Like a collaboration between me and nature.
A collaboration between artist and nature. A pretty fitting way to describe her work, actually, because for as long as she can remember, Shelley has found refuge in nature, an affinity with the animals and forests around her.
Always. Yeah, whenever I would get down or mad at my parents or whatever, I'd go for a walk out in nature, and it always centered me.
Centered her, inspired her, and really led her to her life's work. Work that keeps her particularly busy as she prepares for her biggest event of the year.
It's the Christmas in the Valley Craft Fair at the Athletic Hall. I think it's the longest running craft fair in the Valley.
It's incredible. We start in April to get ready for November. People are continually coming back year after year, and they love seeing the people who've been there forever, and the new people are always excited.
Well, Shelley is definitely one of the regulars, and after 2 decades of preparing for this show, she pretty much has it down to a science.
My husband thinks that he's a widower because I'm painting all day, every day, just about. He manages to drag me out for a walk every day, but yes, I'm mostly working.
And after all the thousands of birds and lynxes, bears, chipmunks, and elk that Shelley has painted over the years, she still feels that same pleasure as she watches the world she loves come to life beneath her brush.
The stones keep me inspired to create that animal in the setting that the stone provides and make it look like it belongs there. It always excites me.
The 41st annual Christmas in the Valley Christmas Craft and Arts Fair is taking place November 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Alberni Athletic Hall and features over 50 exhibitors. For more information, visit their Facebook page. For Go on Shaw TV, I'm Nancy Wilmot. Well, it really is a season for craft shows. I think there's one happening, pretty much 1 or 2 happening every weekend between now and Christmas. And I'm just betting that Melissa Martin, the mayor of Art Avenue, is going to have all that information for you on Art Avenue. Coming up later in this show even, yeah.
Yep.
In the meantime, we are talking about the great pumpkin carving event happening at the Roland Arts Centre. When is it happening?
It's happening Saturday on Halloween, the 31st of October. Carving begins at 11 a.m., the opening of Roland Arts Centre, and it goes till 4. And then from 4 until 7, we're going to have a light up, and that's when I hope everybody will come back trick-or-treating and pick their favorite pumpkin and vote for it, and then start off on their trick-or-treating evening.
Beautiful way to spend the late afternoon, the evening with those kids that are just anxious to get out and do something. They need to be doing something Halloween, and you have prizes.
We do. We've been very blessed with having one of our local South Hill consultants, Deb Crooks, donate first prizes for each and every category, and there's lots of goodies in there with her lockets that are specifically for Halloween. So wonderful prizes, as well as first, second, and third place ribbons, which will be awarded, and they will be announced in the paper the following week. So I hope everybody will come back. It's $2 to vote, and again, those proceeds go to the BC Children's Hospital as well as the Roland Arts Centre for future programming.
Could I enter this pumpkin? Well, I guess in 2 weeks is probably going to be.
Well, you know
maybe not.
What
so
we
healthy
decided
looking.
is if you can't come the day of carving, you can actually pop in ahead of time, a couple of days before the event, and take home your pumpkin. Because I know sometimes people get very busy and their lives are quite busy, and I want everyone to be involved with this. So you can pick up your pumpkin, still register, take it home, and bring it back. Make sure that you have it back at the Roland Arts Centre for 4 o'clock.
Wow. So there's no excuse not to carve a pumpkin for the Great Roland Arts
Yes.
pumpkin carving event. We're going to tell you a little bit more. We've got, I've got to finish this pumpkin for one thing. But before we do that, Jenny Fortin is going to take us out to industrial heritage restoration, but it's not what you think. It's a marine restoration. And just like I said, we're going to stroll down Art Avenue with Melissa Martin.
And welcome to another edition of Art Avenue. A few things that are happening at the Roland Arts Centre: our second annual pumpkin carving contest that happens on October 31st, Halloween, from 11 o'clock till 4 p.m. And then there's also our current exhibit, which is happening at the Roland Arts Centre, and that's with two artists, Megan Stout and Marilyn Ridsdale, and their title is called Still Moving, and that's a wonderful exhibit that you need to stop in the Roland Arts Centre to check out today. I'm just hanging out here, hanging with the monkey over at Nesgard's. Wanted to let you know what's happening in the Alberni Valley. Coming up are some Christmas craft fairs. I know it's a bit early, but mark your calendars. The Alberni Valley Craft Fair Association is doing their Christmas in the Valley, and that takes place on Friday, November 13th. It's a weekend event, and that's their 41st annual that they've been in this Alberni Valley. And Magic Cottage Craft and gift sale, and that's happening on November 21st. It's a little bit far in advance, but certainly put it on your calendar today so you don't forget to come out to these wonderful craft fairs and support local artists. And here's what's happening at Shars Landing. A few concerts that I wanted to mention. On Sunday, October 25th is Social Sundays, and that's a great escape, classic rock, country, and Motown. Big combination there. Wednesday, October 28th is Musicians Open Mic, and that's Own the Stage, and that's hosted by Jeff Hallway. On Thursday, October 29th is Spoken Word, and that's the Alberni Valley Words on Fire featuring Anne Ply. Another couple of things other than that are happening at Shars Landing is on Sunday, October 25th is a concert by Kenneth Paul Cooper, and that is titled The Time Has Come, Lessons to Learn and Tales to be Told. On Tuesday, October 27th is Mike Evan, and that's his album release, and that's his tour, piano and pop and things of that. On October 31st, Halloween, is Ken Ham, and Sunday, November 1st, is Two Piano Tornado with Grant Simpson. So if you want to go see any of those concerts, stop by for your tickets in advance at Shars Landing today. Well, if you like Patsy Cline, we have the musical for you. It's a musical production, and that's going to be taking place at the Capitol Theatre, and Portal Players presents A Closer Walk with Patsy Cline. Tickets are available in advance at the Roland Arts Centre as well as online or the box office. Well, that's it for another edition of Art Avenue, but before I go, a reminder, our second annual pumpkin carving contest on October 31st at the Roland Arts Centre. And also before I go, on November 14th, we're having a book launch, and that's a reception for author and illustrator Karen Poirier happening at the Roland Arts Centre on November 14th at 1 o'clock till 3 p.m. in the afternoon, so stop by and check out her new book. So until next time, I'm Melissa Martin for Art Avenue.
Relics from our history and lost pieces from the past. They are thick with rust and overgrown with blackberry vines. This is what you might call an industrial graveyard. It sits at the back corner of the city works yard, where one day Paul McDougall happened to spot a diamond in the rough.
I guess how it started is with walks along the railway tracks, especially with my dogs, because I saw it, and I wondered why it was there. Specifically, why does the city have it?
Paul did some digging, literally. After asking the city works about it and getting Dr. Jamie Morton of the Alberni Valley Museum to look into it, Paul ripped the thorn vines off and dug it out of its shallow grave. But what Paul and his team saw before them was not exactly a sparkling jewel.
We had been warned that it was in pretty rough shape, but when I saw it, I thought to myself, oh, that's just a pile of rust, and it isn't even going to come upright and stay in one piece.
After being forgotten about for 20-odd years, this boom boat was resurrected, and its fate was decided upon.
We realized, of course, that these little boom boats have worked in the canal with the logging industry for decades and decades. And that if we had a boat like this sitting on the quay by the Maritime Museum, people would be able to look at the boat and would be able to see the same kind of boat working in the harbour just a matter of a few yards away.
Refurbishing something this decade was no easy task.
A lot of cleanup. There was a lot of oil inside and sludge. We had Hetherington come and give us a good deal on cleanup inside. Then it was just a matter of painting, and putting new windows in.
The boat is now refurbished to the point where it's ready to be moved to its new home.
It feels great. The more things we get down at the museum, the more people will come and see it. It helps Alberni, and us people, we have fun doing it. So it's a win-win situation.
But there are still some questions out there regarding the history of this particular boat.
If anybody knows the history of this boat better than we do, we'd love to hear it. We will eventually have an information panel by the boat in the yard there for people to read, and we'd like to get as much accurate information as we can.
For now, though, this refurbished boom boat is basking in its newfound glory at the Maritime Museum. For Go, on Shaw TV, I'm Jenny Fortin.
Wow, it's hard for me to believe that that boat was actually in storage for 30 years, just waiting for someone to come along and see its potential. It's going to be a beautiful display. Now, Melissa and I are still working on our pumpkins. We're going to take a bit of a break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, we are finished our two faces, and they're kind of the same, but kind of different. I think it's beady-eyed. That's
I know. Well, trying to be quiet and demure, just like me.
Just like the Mirror of Art Avenue. There you go. You can see how easy it is to carve pumpkins. Everybody does. It's great fun to do it with a group.
Yes, absolutely. A lot more fun, I think.
And I think it's a great idea. Bring your family out. Bring anybody out that wants to carve a pumpkin. Have some fun. It's kind of a community thing. What time again on Halloween?
It begins at 11 a.m. and it goes till 4, and then light up is from 4 until 7 in the gardens.
And the pumpkins, as we said, have all been donated. Some by Naysguard,
some by Bob and Ann Collins from Arrowville Campsite and Farms, as well as Farmer Bill.
Is there a charge to carve the pumpkins?
Yeah, so each registration per pumpkin is $5, and then so every time you pick a pumpkin, and you can carve more than one, and then you will come back and vote, hopefully, and that's $2 for each vote, sort of like, you know, the Christmas tree organization that does that.
Kind of like the Christmas trees, except it's jack-o'-lanterns. Yes. It's a great pumpkin carve-off, jack-o'-lantern carve-off happening at Roland Arts Centre on October 31st. I think I'm going to go and carve something, but I think I might have to hone my skills a little bit more.
Me too.
While I'm honing those skills, we're going to send you over to Deb Oakes, who has a reading recommendation. If you are desperate to read, you're going to want to hear this.
Good afternoon. My name is Deb, and I'm going to recommend Desperate Writers of Port Alberni, Write Again. It's written by 4 local authors. I'm one of them. And it's a book of short stories and poems. Sometimes the stories are about the woods, walking in the woods, getting lost in the woods, taking a trek down the mountain bike trails, a little excursion over to Tofino. All in all, it's a short, quick read. You can read 1 story a night. You can read 5 stories a night. Have a cup of tea, have a cup of coffee, read a poem, enjoy yourself. It's a great little read.
What are you shopping for today?
Today I'm shopping for paint.
I am buying some things for a daycare, a few ornaments.
I'm just shopping for some hardware.
According to Stats Canada, building material and garden equipment posted the largest margin increase across all sectors in 2015. But according to Jan, there is no such thing as a typical customer.
We have a bunch of flooring go out this morning, kitchen cabinets. People are here buying paints, and paint's a big seller this time of year, people trying to get their projects done.
But on this day, who knew that these customers were in for a one-of-a-kind shopping experience?
There was a secret chord that David played and pleased the Lord.
Flash mob's pretty cool. You know, you're just going about your business and the people that are around you all of a sudden start singing or dancing, and it's such a neat thing to be witness to.
Singing on a stage is one thing, but singing in the middle of an unsuspecting store is a whole nother story.
I don't know, I just like the feeling I get from it performing, and we've been practicing it, and it's really fun to do it. It's kind of scary at first, but we're always so excited.
But I mean, for them to be brave enough to stand up in front of an audience and sing, I think is huge. And I think that's one of those life skills that you can really, grow with.
But the music doesn't stop here. In fact, the Glee program at the Capitol Theatre has grown considerably over the last few years.
It has, the Wee Glee program and the Glee program has been operating for about 5 years at the Capitol Theatre. We're just starting into our 5th season. And last year there were some calls for an adult choir, and so we thought we would try it. And we did very little advertising and we're overwhelmed with our numbers. We have an adult choir of 25 with a waiting list. And we have 14 glees with a waiting list, and we have 9 wee glees this year. So we're really pleased.
There are all sorts of different types of choirs and arrangements out there. But what they all have in common is that they come together for the sole purpose of enjoying music and sharing it.
I think everybody can learn to sing. I think singing is fun. The Capitol Theatre and the Portal Players were particularly supportive of the idea of having these groups singing and supporting them within their facility. And so anybody that's sung in a choir, they gain a little bit more confidence, they gain a little bit more initiative perhaps to participate and sing with a musical. And that's really good for us because that's feeding into our programs and helping us grow.
You can expect to see and hear big things from the choir programs at the Capitol Theatre in the future. For Go, on Shaw TV, I'm Jenny Fortin.
Well, that does bring us to the end of another Go. We've been carving pumpkins. We've been hearing about the great prizes that are being offered at the Roland Arts Centre's pumpkin carving, jack-o'-lantern carving event coming up on Halloween. Great family, great event, great fundraiser for the BC Children's Hospital. There's nothing really left to say except until we meet again, stay spooky.